Hello and welcome to SociSNAP Live. In SociSNAP Live, we're going to be featuring your posts, everything that you are doing with our software to make the social space even looking better.
With our software.
And Jeremy, you got a bit of echo because you probably had me open another window.
Hang on. So, yep. Sorry, I
Yeah,
had this.
Jeremy. Thanks for coming on the call today. You were one of our very, very first lifetime customers years and years ago.
It was
You
actually
saw me at a webinar and you just said, I need this.
that was pretty much it. Yep, that was it. I'm just thinking it was January the 16th, 2020. So close to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just got my receipt here.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is what the new dashboard looks like. So we've gone through some changes in the website. It's very simple. What does it cost will bring you to the prices, and member dashboard will bring you in here. And I wanted to have this event here very briefly just to wrap up the week. We have had 2 epic affiliate trainings. This is for affiliates, and this, like you see this link here, it says affiliates with make money with SociSNAP, apply here. I've been focusing on a whole series to teach people how to promote SociSNAP, and we have now about 8 hours that's recorded. We're going to be rolling that out into the members area really, really soon. It's definitely some of the best training that we've ever given on the topic. Over here are live stream replays. So this event that we're watching right now live, as soon as it becomes a replay, it goes over here. Now, let me educate you on how this works, okay? Because a lot of people don't understand YouTube. This is called a YouTube playlist. So you can click watch on YouTube, and that will bring up the playlist. Or you can go over here and just click on, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a tiny little icon. And whenever you see that icon, that means it's a playlist, and there's several videos in here. Most people get confused, and they only see, oh, there's only one video. When you go to the dashboard and you click on the same thing, there's a training video. This is the training video for SociSNAP. Inside of this training, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. You can see there are 16 videos in here. So some people go, oh, where's all the training? Okay. If that's not enough, you can actually go in to use the tool. Okay. And then click here where it says basic training. That opens up the basic training. And once you've finished the basic training, these are the same 16 videos on YouTube. And this is what's called a private playlist. And I recommend all of you learn how to do private playlists. If you want to know how to grow your YouTube channel exponentially, the secret is this: use playlists, private playlists, and then include other people in your playlists, and you include, and basically do playlist swapping, right? So if I put my video in your playlist, you put your video in my playlist, and then we share the traffic. Does that make sense? I do a lot of that inside of my YouTube training. So this is the basic training that's right here. And then when you click on the pro training is right here. Okay. Now, if you purchased SociSNAP during one of our lifetime launches, the lifetime launch is over. We have another one beginning on the 29th of this month. That's in about a week. We have an exclusive launch that's happening right now, and you want to get back to the person who sent you and get the links from them, because we have a partner who's totally crushing it right now. And maybe she'll come on later, but you can see her amazing presentation by simply going into the live stream replays. And there she is, Crypto Girl. So if you're on Crypto Girl's connections, get back with her because she has all the private links that you can get into still accessing it. Hey, welcome. We just have my mentor, Ain, showing up. Ain, you're in audio only. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Hello, hello, hello. You there? We're gonna have more people joining the live stream. I invited some people. It's a Friday afternoon. I used to do these live streams every Friday with my friend Alex Mendosian, and I think he stopped doing them. I don't know why, but maybe he just sort of retired and is just enjoying the good life. But I figured there's a space, and I found that Fridays at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, it crosses the whole planet. And it's a great time for all of us to get together. And this works out. All of you can show up. Every Friday, we'll have a wrap-up show. And the wrap-up show, we're going to summarize what we covered during the whole week. Now, our weeks at SociSNAP start on Tuesdays. Then we take Wednesday off, and then we're back here again on Thursdays for the pro training. So basically, the basic trainings are open on Tuesdays. The pro trainings are on Thursdays. And then Fridays, we have a wrap-up show. And all that information happens automatically, including the Zoom links. Jeremy, you've been using SociSNAP. I want to bring up a few people. Do you have one? Maybe you could Skype me one of your posts that you posted in SociSNAP. But I'm just bringing up my Facebook. And I want to talk about the true meaning of 42, because that was the first thing I saw from Reese Jones. Reese actually invited me to he was my first friend in Facebook. My very, very first friend in Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook at all. And back then you needed an invitation. I think that was like when Facebook literally first was getting started. Yeah, because if you remember, Facebook was for college only, and I already graduated. And when it transitioned to business, I don't know if you remember this, but you needed an invitation from somebody else in order to get into Facebook. That's kind of how one of these other services is right now. So, Ain, I don't know if you have a microphone. I can't hear you for some reason. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I was just laughing about it actually when you said it, because now they're all doing that.
Now they're all doing that.
Yeah, all the new guys start out like that. And truth is, it's a sign of weakness. They don't have the infrastructure, so it's a sign of weakness, right?
Well, yeah, it could be. It could be.
It is. It is. And they're also demanding your phone number, a lot of these new platforms, which I think is a weakness that somebody needs to exploit the living daylights out of right fast. Hint, hint, hint.
Yes, exactly. So did you ever read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Don't you love that book? I mean, I totally love that book.
It's funny. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I actually interviewed Douglas Adams before he passed. In 1994, I was a talk show host at MSN, the Microsoft Network. And Douglas was one of my guests. And that was definitely one of the most captivating interviews I've ever done. Because we had this question about what is 42 and what the true meaning of 42. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but there's like this pyramid and they have the number 42. It's like, I just thought, well, why is that showing up in my news feed as the very first thing? Probably because Reese is one of my favorites. And, Reese is a venture capitalist. He's one of these people that lives in Silicon Valley and speaks at conferences and things like that. And he invests in things. He's just a great guy. He shows up in places. But what I love about him on Facebook is he just almost never talks about himself. When you look at his feed, it's always something clever with some, like either a picture or a link or an article. And for a while, when I was first learning Facebook, what I would do is I would grab the best of Reese and I would just post the same articles on my wall, and it started building my culture. What you post on your wall is going to frame your culture. So if you're into tech, you're into like geeky things. Like right now, the latest thing is Dune. Who wants to see Dune? I'm really torn between going to the movies or watching it at home in 4K, because I have a subscription to HBO Max, and it's going to be on Max tonight. How has the world changed? When I interviewed Douglas Adams, we were on dial-up internet. He was on the phone with me with a teleprompter. My secretary, I shouldn't call her a secretary, my administrative assistant could type 150 words a minute, and she could rapidly transcribe his words. And then I would interview him in a verbal manner. It was like a radio show. And then that transcript would go out onto the internet. So at that time, the internet was less quality than the radio, right? And then we recorded these audio and all that kind of stuff. And then, podcasts didn't exist, but that was like the beginnings of the podcast. In a way, we were kind of doing podcasting before there were podcasts. But what was fascinating about that is that the internet was less digital quality than the telephone. And I think that's an important distinction. And it ties into the true meaning of 42. What do you think about that, Ain?
I was actually very distracted. I apologize. I'm having a technical issue with my my phone here. I'm trying to deal with before this gets going. So bear with me a moment.
Well, let me just share with everyone what they can do. A lot of people purchase SociSNAP, and they purchase the lifetime through your last 3 launches that we've done. And those launches, we're taking a week off just to let you guys assimilate and make sure everyone has their tokens. And let me explain what a token is. Tokens like the number 42. When you first go to SociSNAP, anybody, I mean everybody, whether you're paid, unpaid, friends, family, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can click member dashboard, and with I'm just going to open this up. Let me do this. Let me sign out. Let me sign out. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click member dashboard. And when I click member dashboard, it says like this: log in with Google, log in with Facebook, or log in with your Apple or Mac ID, or log in with your email and password. If you purchased it and you got a receipt in the email, this is where you go. Okay. So you're going to have an email. You're going to have a password. This is what's called old school. New school are the big 3. We can all agree, I think, that the top 3 internet companies in the world right now would be Google, Facebook, and Apple. Wouldn't you agree? Right? What do they all have in common other than Facebook? They all have mobile devices. Google has an Android phone. Apple has an iPhone. And Facebook seems to work on both of them. You notice how that works, right? So you can authenticate. You can sign in to SociSNAP with Google, with Facebook, and with your iPhone, and you'll have the ability to test drive it. You'll also have the ability to watch all the trainings, everything that's inside of there that you have access to. And if you don't have access to, we will tell you how you can get it. And this is just a very, very simple way that we can give back to our community, especially our affiliates, because of this thing called cookies. Now, what are cookies? Cookies are when you click on a link, it's tracked back to the source so that let's say, for example, I'm running a live stream like this one, and I just say, hey, go to SociSNAP.com and sign in for free and upgrade or whatever, or get back to the person who talked to you. Or even if I do something more aggressive like a Facebook retargeting ad, what will happen is that you will get and receive commissions automatically because you've been cookied with your sponsor. Okay. So all you literally have to do is share your link. Okay. Your link is right. I'm just going to log in with Google for a moment, just so you how simple that is. It prompts you with which account. I go in, I pick my account. In 2 seconds, I'm in. There's no reason to have a username. There's no reason to have a password. It's just very, very fast. It's processing. It's taking a little longer because I'm on this live stream. There it goes. So now I'm back into the dashboard. Now, some of you, like Jeremy, you purchased still with a username and password, correct?
I believe so. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. But I log in with Google because it's quicker. At one time, I used to have to. It took me several times to log in, which was weird. And it's improved, and it's like seamless now. Perfect. I get straight in every time.
You get straight in every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we added this thing called Connect Social Media.
I've got my other screen with SociSNAP open. So if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my Snap on my other screen.
So we're thinking of calling it Connect Your Mobile Phone, maybe because right now it just covers the mobile phones. But we will be adding other social media. We're also thinking of adding Twitter. We're thinking of adding. Now, let me explain how this works. It's super simple because we have what's called a token system. If any of you have questions, please just write them in the chat and I will address them. But let me just speak very clearly here for a moment. The Web 2.0 world is all based on like username, password, WordPress. And what you needed to do was to have a username and password across hundreds or thousands of different websites. I got tired of that because I also have a password manager, and then you have to remember the password for your password manager. It is a mess. It's much easier to use one-click sign-in. It's called single sign-on, right? With the two major mobile carriers as well. I mean, have you ever tried to type in a password on a phone? That's a lot of work. It's very, very complicated, right? You do it once and then you try to save it. That works fine, but most people never get around to that. One tap with your phone on your iPhone or your Android phone is all you really need. And what we're trying to do here, and pay attention, this is very, very important. We have proven, and Ain, you could confirm with this, you will make much more money if you spend more time on your laptop than you do on your phone. Ain, what do you think about that?
I mean, that's a loaded question.
I know it's a loaded question. I did that for a reason.
Yeah, see if I'm paying attention. I did get the gist of what you're saying, and I do think that the more time that a vendor spends on a desktop, definitely the more money they're going to make. And I also believe that the more that the vendor can get the viewer onto a desktop, the more money that the vendor will make, and the viewer as a product, because you can display things better. You don't have the connectivity problems, assuming you're wired in. But even if you're close to a Wi-Fi, you're better than an on-the-street Wi-Fi, right? Like those 5G, man. You get 50 feet away from them, they're useless. The signal drops big time as soon as you get 150 feet away. But yeah, mobile's a very fickle game. I'm actually pretty negative about the whole experience when it comes to mobile. Even the really wazoo new phones, they suck.
Yeah. Well, we are live on 5 channels on Facebook and 1 channel on YouTube. Jeremy, you're raising your hand. What's up?
Well, haven't they done research where the more real estate, as the larger your screens, the more productive you
Yes.
are? I believe
Yes,
this.
that is very true,
I've
Jeremy.
got a 32-inch monitor and then an 18-inch laptop. My wife has got the big, huge panoramic and multiple screens and all that, but she does real work. Yeah, so I believe this actual.
The difference, I think, is that the statistics are in favor of the mobile because everybody's on them. They're always on them. When you're away from your desk, you're on the mobile. So the cumulative revenues that are achieved on mobile phones are just naturally going to be higher. But the reality is, and I think about Vic often when this subject comes up, because Vic's the kind of guy that is always looking for ways to kind of buck the trend and technologically take advantage of advantages like that by encouraging, his audience to kind of be in the venue that he wants. I mean, this thing that he's built that he's showing on screen here right now is a great example of how he's kind of, envisioned that people need to be in a what we call captive audience environment so that you can properly administer, the education and whatnot. In fact, as simple as it might look, it's actually pretty ingenious. And I think that, in the future, mobile's going to take some big leaps and bounds as we move towards quantum computing. We're going to see some big changes, and this may eventually change. I mean, I was looking at it. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I was looking at a phone 2 weeks ago that can project bloody holograms into the middle of your living room. I was just blown away when I saw that. And it's like, that kind of stuff will change the mobile problem for sure. But it's in its infancy. Admittedly, the vendor of that technology basically told me that they're unsellable because it costs about $750,000 to produce the phone at this point in time. They have no plans of being able to scale it yet because they figure even under mass production they can't get the cost south of $100,000. I said, well, Richard Branson might be a customer, but you're screwed otherwise.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. Carry on.
No. Well, what I wanted to just bring up the topic. I was actually talking with someone who runs his whole business on mobile, and I was just fascinated by that because, I think you could do that, but I mean, the way I look at it, he doesn't have a life. He's got appointment after appointment. Every 15 minutes on his calendar is scheduled in advance. It's like you've given yourself a it's worse than a job. You've now created appointmentitis. I actually think that's actually going to be a new term that people are going to start doing because in the dating niche, we used to say, girls would say, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I have plans." Right? How many times has a guy heard, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have plans"? None of the women that I actually ended up being in a relationship with, lasted 2 seconds when they said that. Basically, that was see you later at that point. But that's how I roll. Other people don't roll that way. Why am I saying this? Because it made me realize when we did our epic, I don't know, I can't believe we did a 4-hour training on being a super affiliate on Tuesday. We did a 4-hour training on it again, part 2 on Thursday. Next week, we're going to be talking about email marketing all week long. And I actually want to bring up a little book here, if I can. Bring over my mouse. All right, so you can see this. I helped choose the book cover for this. This is my friend Matt Basak. Emails, how to write emails that sell. Secrets from the most profitable emails ever written. Okay. Just got my copy in the mail. And Matt and I have been chatting about an interview. So we're actually going to have that as well. And we are looking at a way to convey the stuff he talks about in this book in a very practical manner. What's really interesting, the very first secret in this book is the same thing that I have been teaching now for more than a decade. And it was just a confirmation that that is exactly the way it is. And you know this too, but what do you think is the greatest email writing secret in the world? The number one secret of writing a good email?
The combination of the emotional and logical. That's for sure the number one. We get lazy. We do one, not the other.
Yeah.
Or we do too much of one, not enough of the other. And really that's it. But natural language and the obvious. I mean, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, staying away from spam words, man. That's the hardest battle. I was going to bring this up with you, and I'll just quickly throw this out at you because it's something I think you would do well to repeat ad nausea. You don't need SociSNAP. Okay. You can go get a spam word checker. There's dozens of them out there, but you know what the problem with those are? There's no all-in-one. You got to go, like the way I do it, I have like 8 of them. I jump from tab to tab to tab, copy and paste until I pass one of them. Once I pass one of them, I go to the next one, and then the next one, and and it's surprising how you always find more and more and more words. Okay.
Yep.
But check this out. It's the fact that you're doing this work in the tool that you need to be doing it in to create the rest of the formatting, work with the emojis, everything all in one, and then just bang, hit the copy button, and poof, you're dangerous weapon now. You don't have to mess around like I do, because the way I do it, like I say, 8 tabs, and then I got to go sit on a freaking emoji site,
right?
Look for emojis, dig around through their galleries. Which, by the way, I was going to say, search utility for your emojis. If you put a search utility in that thing and then tag your emojis according to what they are, oh, brother.
Yeah, we could do that.
That's really, it's a little bit of work, but
no. That's search by keyword, you think?
So if you have emojis, like for instance, I was looking around in SociSNAP this morning. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And I forget what I was looking for. Oh, I was looking for a stop sign. And I thought he's got to have a stop sign, right?
Yeah, we have several stop signs.
You did have one. I didn't find the one with the actual word stop on it, though, just FYI. You may want to find one of those someday. But a search box right there on the screen where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Above the tabs, money bag.
So we could put a search box right in here is what you're saying.
A search box and then tags according to functional utility of the emoticon and emotional utility. Like you could type in sad and see all the stuff that looks kind of sad. Even the angry would show up in the sad search. You know what I mean?
Okay.
A little bit of I'll just give you the short story because I've already gone on too long.
Well, it gives people in the audience a chance to ask questions.
Yeah. So in many of my product launches, we've had things like template packages, and we've had things like picture packages, asset packages, video packages. And these are meant to be searchable, or sorry, they're never meant to be searchable. And this is the number one freaking complaint, because people are like, look, I just want to make a video. I just want to have a happy smiling man, you know, holding hands with a happy smiling woman. That's all I want. And I got to go for an hour and a half looking for this. And then I got to pick the one I want. And it's the biggest time suck of anything in the production cycle. Now, it's the same with web pages. It's the same with emails. It's the same with anything where you might need a picture or a video or an asset of some kind. And so we started advocating with all of our partners and associates who are in the business of providing that kind of material, the idea of indexable tags and really, really spending the effort on, don't just put smiley face, because that's too obvious. You got to have a smiley face tag, but you also need to have, you know, things like open mouth, closed mouth. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of extra detail so that when people type it in, they see it. But here's the cool thing. When they see the tags, like it'd be cool to be able to mouse over the emoticon and see the tags, because with a pop-up like a tooltip, because people will remember them much better. They'll go, oh, I gotta make sure I say smiley open mouth, and boom. Then they don't even want to go look for them no more once they remember their names, you know? And now they get into a much more fluid process. What would be really cool is if there was a way to tag search from within the editor. That would be like amazing. Okay. Maybe a drop down with a search box right in the editor, so it's right close by. I don't know. And have it off to the right so it doesn't cover your working area. And I'm gonna probably shut up my mute here, because I could actually go on for a while about this subject, and I don't.
No, I'm fascinated by it, because I think this is what people want.
Eventually, I think they're going to demand it, right?
Well, what I wanted to also share with you is, because of the way we design the framework right now, we ultimately wanted it to be user specific. So as soon as you pick any emoji from any of these other tabs, and let's start with food, because these were the first emojis that ever were created, right? It was basically food and fun were the main emojis, and then symbols and objects and, you know, nature. All of these were nature, food, fun, and these were the main emojis that first kicked off in 2007 with the first iPhones that offered emojis to Japan. So as soon as I kick off, let's say a horse, okay? And then I'm going to pick, you know, I did this in my broadcast today. In our Skype group, I talk about the purpose of this group. And I thought, oh, I need a porpoise. So I went into nature and I clicked on that. Now, when I go to favorites, actually, I have to probably snap it first. But now when I click refresh and I come back the next day, I go to the emoji editor and there they are, right? It remembers what you've used and it organizes it in your personal favorites. And it's automatically sorted by the number of times you've used them in that particular account. Okay. So we wanted to create a more of an automated manner. However, that's a really, really good idea, I think, for the pro level upgrade to SociSNAP, because we're trying to think, okay, how many features from the current SociSNAP should we take away and put into pro, because people aren't using them and they don't know that they're there, or they don't know how to use them, or it takes too much explanation to explain how to use it. And how many of the features, you know, they're more designed for professionals rather than amateurs. Makes sense, right? You're a professional, so you want the full Monty. You want the pop over hovers. What I was struggling with is this whole notion of the popularity of the. I can't even say the word on air, but you know what I'm talking about. It's a symbol. And today I'm going to actually symbolically do something, which I don't know. You see this symbol right here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do this toilet paper thing, because they were kind of fun. They were popular. And at the time when we were working on the editor, you see, everything in these tabs, including their labels, is completely modifiable. We could even make the users define them themselves. The new emoji batch just came out with the new updates to all the phones that came out. I think, let me check the count. It's called the Unicode. You go to unicode.org. Unicode.org. Okay. Unicode is, a lot of people don't know what Unicode is, but let me just say it very briefly. The Unicode standard was now in its 14th version. So how this works is a device like a phone, a laptop, a computer needs to accept the Unicode character set. What that enables you to do is put a dice on the screen. It enables you to put the 100 or the smiley face or this emoji. This right here is the Unicode standard version 14.0. It was mainly done for languages. Crypto-Minoan, historically used on the island of Cyprus, so that the device that accepts the standard, okay, this is a biblical number, 144,000 characters, are in version 14, okay? What we're trying to do with SociSNAP is give you, we're going to test some of the new emojis, but not all devices can play them. We started off with the emojis that 99% of all devices in existence can view the emoji. And that basically, you're going back to Unicode, the early versions of it. But now there keeps adding, this version adds 838 new characters for a total of 144,697 characters. These additions include 5 new scripts for a total of 159 scripts, as well as 37 new emoji characters. Okay, so here's a question for you, Ain. As of September, if you get Windows 11 or if you get the new Apple update on your Mac, or if you buy the brand new iPhone, guess what? You're going to have these 37 new emojis, and you're going to be the talk of the town because you're going to have those emojis. You see what I'm going with this, Ain?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of adding a new tab and putting in the new emojis, but here's the problem. If you don't have the latest version of the operating system on your computer, it's going to look like gobbledygook. But this is a good thing. It's actually part of my Facebook relevance training because I found it didn't matter. In fact, because what happened was, if you posted a character, like you can actually go into some of mine right here. I'm sneaking them in once in a while. Look at the sad face. Okay. Right. This particular browser does not support that sad face in color because it's a combo. Okay. So now the question is,
that explains a few things.
Should I put all 37 new emojis in a new tab because they just released as of September, but only the latest phones and the latest operating systems will be able to see them? Or should I sort of, kind of sneak them in a little bit here and there, right? Like, that's what I've been doing. Like, here's a sunglass.
Oh, put them in.
Here's an eyeball. This eyeball is not on that browser, but if I switch browsers, I might be able to see that eyeball.
Yeah, and I used that one today in a post, and it does not show up looking like that. It looks way better on the finished product.
Right, because the browsers are behind the phones now.
So what I would do is I would put them all in a separate tab and label that, like, for iOS or whatever the situation is.
Well,
say,
we don't know that because it's not related. It's actually related to the hardware device in some cases.
oh,
Right? You know what would be very interesting is a tool. Let me see if there is such a tool.
well, just put them on a new tab, and on the new tab, simply say, hey, be advised, these may not display as they look on here, and they may or may not work at all on some people's devices because they're really new and they're only da 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 da. You could put some simple little statement there.
Okay, so Stack Overflow. Let's see if there's anyone's actually written some code. Okay, UTF-8, UTF-16, UTF-32. So we could actually detect the character coding of a text file. That might be the thing that we need to do. Unicode is a standard, not an encoding. That's true. The UTF is something else. But that's an interesting question for our geeky friends. If you have the answer, please put it in the comments and we'll bring you in the next show. But I've been wanting to figure that out because there has to be some way of identifying that this browser's Unicode standard is probably not 14.0, whereas your brand new iPhone probably is.
Right.
Right? You know, my 5-year-old Android phone is probably Unicode 12 because it plays almost everything, you know, but there's a couple of generations in between. So now that you understand that, there's also this thing called adopt a character, which I think is really funny. Have you ever seen that? You can actually, if you go to here under emoji, you go to about emoji, you'll learn. Do you have a favorite emoji? You can adopt an emoji. You pay these guys money. These are the Swiss. I mean, if you actually look at the history of the Unicode, it's very interesting. It was actually created a large part by some Apple people. Let me see. And then the other thing that we have to think about is this emoji. See, this thing can move around. If you have a bigger monitor, you can have a really big monitor, right? You can move this up and around over to the side. Actually, I can probably demonstrate that here. Yeah. Okay. So I could be basically writing my post right over here. This is my post for Twitter. And actually, let me do this with verbal. So I'm just going to click here, speech to text. We are now discussing where should we put the new emojis in that were just released in the new build. Okay. So then I run that through spam checker, and the word now is a spam word. So instead of using, oh, it's still capturing my audio. We are at this moment discussing where, okay, now I can delete that right there. You see, by having all of your tools at your fingertips, including the voice recognition, as a writer, you have your emojis, you have your favorites, you also have popular, which is the most popular ones across thousands of users, everything at your fingertips in one place. You also have character count, okay? You have to keep a, let's say I'm just doing, on Fridays, we say, we just released a new build. Instead of the word new, maybe we should start numbering them, but I wish I was a good. Do you have an idea of what would be a good synonym for new? I mean, I can always go look up synonyms. That might be something that we want to have, because let me explain. These drop downs over here are not just synonyms. These drop downs down here are words that we have found replacements for in copywriting. And copywriting is distinct from the dictionary. Maybe, Ain, you could talk about the difference between a good copywriter and someone who's in the dictionary.
Making a living and not. I mean,
Yes.
to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, that it really comes down to that. I mean, literary, call them perfectionists, do a great job at captivating and engaging people who are not in the buying mode. Okay. But people who are at that top level of awareness of what their problem is and looking for a solution.
Yeah.
They need very specific psychological persuasion that is predicated on their problem, and it has to be relevant to their specific situation. You get all that right with usually a great deal of research and whatnot. But to answer your question, yeah, it's a world of difference. Literary experts can engage people who are not in the buying mode. But when it comes to somebody who needs to buy, I mean, just like I'm making you fall asleep right now, they bore the tears out of them, and they don't tick the box of firing a dopamine hit in the head of, hey, that's going to fix my problem, make my pain go away. That's what makes people buy, that emotional attachment to that dopamine, and people
Right.
always get the dopamine thing wrong. They think it's like some kind of drug, and that's sort of true. But the reason dopamine makes people buy is because it makes them feel good about the decision, because they know that the pain is going to go away, or the frustration, or what have you. And especially if they've been suffering for a while, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we may have some more people join us here. But there was something I wanted to bring up, because this is a real key thing. It has to do with copywriting. And earlier I suggested I was going to share the #1 secret of good copywriting on email. And you went into more of a how-to. But what I was going to talk about is the what. And so let me explain this. And this is actually something I've been teaching for a while. Are you still seeing my screen where it says struggling with social media posts nobody sees?
Yep.
SociSNAP makes your posts instantly snap, sizzle, and pop. Well, that headline and that subject line is the copy that sells the software. That GIF animation right below shows you what it does emotionally. The next thing that happens, there's a button, because most likely you've heard about it. And then in a very simple statement for the left brain, we say, what is SociSNAP? And then we answer the question. And we've tested it on 25 social networks, but that doesn't mean anything. That means these are the ones we tested on, like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, but it works in comments. Okay. Jeremy, who's on the call with us here today, just gave me a link. And let's see, where's that link again, Jeremy? Oh, shoot. I have it up here. Here it is.
It was in Skype.
Yeah. I got it. So look at this. Jeremy is hanging out in an Airstream restoration group. Okay. And then he sits down and he uses SociSNAP to comment and stand out from the crowd. And why are you doing this, Jeremy? And how is this making you money? Are you getting friends from this? Or people like becoming more friends on your social media? What's going on there?
I'm using it when just for fun, but definitely to try and stand out and get more attention, and it definitely works. I use it on. I should use it more, but I do use it quite a lot on Facebook and YouTube. I do a lot of YouTube comments, and sometimes it's just because I want to appreciate, just add to the conversation, and sometimes it's because I want to try and get people to click over to my channel and things like that. So it's just to stand out a bit more, because you with all the bombardment and some of these videos I'm posting, and I've got hundreds or thousands of comments. So you need a little bit to stand out. So, and I need to go through the training more, because I know I've used some of the things, but I know you've added more that I haven't actually learned. And that I'd forgotten that you got the voice to text, because I'm a terrible typer and a terrible speller. So the voice to text is amazing. Even if you don't want to, even if you just put it into SociSNAP and then just copy and paste it into something else without even doing any of the things that SociSNAP can do, without doing the bolds and the stuff like that, you can just use it to write emails and stuff like that. So it's definitely helps to stand out and attract eyeballs.
Yeah. Well, eyeball glue. I mean, that's like this is such an amazing technology that we're talking about next week. But the purpose of these Friday events is really just to sort of connect with our community and our tribe and just give people an update. And everybody just, we've had so many events. We've been on so many cameras. Some of us, you've been emailing us. You've been emailing support. We have a lot of like a queue of people that were activating their accounts. And I just want to talk briefly about the token system. What we do with the token system is, when you sign in with your Google account or your Facebook account or your iPhone or your username or your password, we're basically looking with you as an individual, and you can have multiple accounts connecting to your SociSNAP account. So in other words, you have a SociSNAP account, and then you connect your Google to it, you connect your Facebook to it, you can connect your Amazon to it. It's just a way of connecting. And the reason that works so well is, let's say you go to any of our other programs, you can use the same login and you'll have the same token and the same access that you had at the level you purchased. So let's say you go into SociSNAP and you start my email course, Email Help Out. And you can also go to emailhelpout.com, right? You'll find that when you're in emailhelpout.com, there's white papers, there's links, there's way more content, but the actual course itself is inside of SociSNAP. We did that because people's attention spans, they can only process. We've done this by extensively studying human behavior. And we noticed that if you give people too many choices, they don't do anything. But people in the enterprise space want that complexity. If you don't give people the complexity, like let's look at Photoshop. I've been teaching Photoshop since 93. I think 93 is when I bought my first copy of Adobe Photoshop.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences.
And one of my friends, he is a mural artist now. He has done some of the largest murals in the world. And I taught him Photoshop. Before that, he was painting with a paintbrush. And it was funny. As soon as I taught him Photoshop, I came back to his house and he had this giant touchpad. We had a huge screen, first of all, and then he had this this pen, this touch screen, and he was just literally drawing on the canvas. And what he was doing is his pen was drawing, and he was looking at the screen. So as he was drawing, his eyes were connecting to the monitor, but he was touching the thing. And then I looked at the complexity of some of the work that he's done, and it's world class. I mean, it's literally world class. It was such an honor to. He was basically my landlord, and I figured. He said, "What's that?" You know, walked into my little cottage that I was renting from him. You know, he had the big house with the giant painting on the wall, you know, that's like 20 feet wide and stuff like that. And he, you know, came over to my little shack, my little humble shack right there on the beach of Kauai. And you know, I remember I was just sitting there with my computer, struggling with Photoshop, just trying to make, you know, a box, you know, trying to cut something out and put a little circle around it. And I don't know if you remember the graphics of how, you know, graphic design looked in the 90s, but, you know, graphic design in the 90s is not like graphic design, you know, shadows. What's that? Right. So I digress here, but I love telling these stories about the past because that's what colors our future. And I'm just going to run a little bit of a replay while we're waiting for our special surprise guest to show up. If he does, we're just chatting right now on Facebook Messenger. Jeremy, I could give you the floor, or I could do a replay. Your choice.
What was? Pardon? What was?
Yeah, I've got to go check on my guest.
Okay.
I
yeah,
can give you the
a
floor.
replay because I've actually got construction people here that I didn't realize were here. My wife came by, so I actually have to run.
Well, let me give you your solo layout. Share from your heart a little bit about what's your life been like. How have you using SociSNAP, and would you recommend someone else to pick it up?
I definitely recommend it. It's a great tool. It makes you more individual, you know, and it just you've just got that little bit of extra that can catch somebody's eye, that can make all the difference. You know, people. I just use it, you know, just for fun, like I said before. Sometimes, and I get people saying, you know, what is that? You know, and then you can share with them what it's all about. But marketing wise, you need personally, I think you need all, you know, in today's world, you need all the help you can get. So, you know, it just comes in, you know, the way you can bold things and with all the emojis and stuff that it just, you know, and you can do this on where nobody else has got a clue how you're doing it. So,
yeah.
You know, for marketing your own things, or then for marketing.
Hey, welcome.
Tool, it's, you know, it's great, and it's easy to use, and you've upgraded. So you're always upgrading. You're always doing good things. You're listening to feedback from people and implementing things.
Yep.
So, you know,
yeah, we just added. Someone gave us feedback about adding an undo button, and so we're doing that. Yeah. And what Aim's suggesting, we're probably going to do that as well.
Yeah, it is handy. I use the search on the emojis on my phone quite a lot.
Yeah, there are other services out there that have searchable emojis. They have web pages and stories about emojis. What we wanted to do is to actually have like an artist's canvas, right? So you use SociSNAP when you're actually in the moment doing it. And then what we do is I can add specific emojis in real time, right? I could play a replay like we're doing right now, go into the database in SociSNAP, and then update all the emojis in a snap, right? It's just a matter of us making a decision on which emojis we want and how we want to structure it. I mean, Ain, I don't know if you're still here. Actually, Ain, I think had to go. No, you're still here, Ain. You're still here?
Yep.
I have a quick question about using. I don't think I've used SociSNAP for doing the actual text on my YouTube videos. I have reasonable success. I've had some pretty good success with certain things with YouTube and getting ranking and getting sales and signups.
Yeah.
And I've only used it for comments and responding to people and commenting on other people's videos. I haven't used it for actually titling and putting the information on my own videos.
Right.
I was just wondering about whether, because will it work for the spiders doing the SEOing on the text? Because
it actually works better. Let me show you why.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that question.
Because I should be doing it, and I've just realized I'm kicking myself because I've had a bunch of, there's a new project that there's a new company launching that, and I'm going to be taking some of their videos and tweaking them, and I think I'll be putting some SociSNAP in the actual titling and the information.
Okay. So I muted this, but I wanted you to basically say, let me okay, let me remove that for now, and let me add this back in. All right, so this is one of our videos on our channel. Okay, the keywords we want the search engines to see are Doobie Brothers Tour and then listen to the music, or Doobie Brothers Live, listen to the music, right? I was just illustrating this the other day, but I'm actually going to put the word live back in. But let me explain this, the why of this, okay? I had this title for a while for SEO purposes, and I want to give emphasis to the word live. But the word video itself, it has emphasis, but it actually is wasted space. You know, there's no reason for me to have the word video in my title. Okay? The word concert is relative. So what I'm doing is I use SociSNAP to italicize it, which converts it into the Unicode and effectively removes it. So this is the emoji of the letter V, the emoji of the letter I, the emoji of the letter D, emoji of the letter E, and the emoji of the letter O. So you can use it to remove certain words, but they're still visible in the title.
Okay.
Okay? And that's the way I want you guys and gals to think about it. Right? Even down here, like and share our videos to encourage us to post more. YouTube doesn't care about that. They care about the link. And we also did this for emphasis purposes, because more people will subscribe to it. Okay? The key is, if you do this with malicious intent, then you're kind of probably violating YouTube's terms of service, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to clutter up YouTube. What you want to do is make it look beautiful, right? Beauty is the key. Make it look cool. Make it look fun, right? So if I want to, I can go in here and grab the arrow and put the little arrow right here in the beginning, right? And now that I save that, you could, because this video gets around 12,000 views a day, you can see, okay, did it cause it to increase? Did it cause it to decrease? It's all about testing, right? There's no absolutes because it's an algorithm. But what we do know is if you change your title, you change your description, and you're updating it frequently, that does help you with YouTube, because it shows that you're paying attention. You care about your own properties, right? Now, while you can't change your content on your video, without resetting the count and going through the whole process of getting that video seen again, what you can do is go in here and change the text that goes below it. Like, I got a boost when I added the lyrics to the bottom of the video. I'm already giving all the money from the ad revenue to the Doobie Brothers. I don't need the money. I just want people to just support the Doobie Brothers. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can use SociSNAP, but just keep in mind that the words that you bold or italic or underline or strike through or any of those kind of characters that are converted, those words will be effectively removed from the search. Okay?
That's what I thought.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because everything in search operates on keyword density. So if you have a very, very long title, right, with loaded, stuffed full of keywords, what you're doing is you're actually shooting yourself in the foot because you're confusing the algorithm because you have all this extraneous words in there you don't need. Right? However, these days, YouTube is not just about your title or your description. As of 2012, it has become increasingly more based on the actual content of your video itself than what you write in your title, your description, or even your keywords or your tags. So the algorithm is smart enough that you could just literally upload a video and it'll figure out what it's about and whether people will like it. And that means you have to make really, really good content for your videos and your live streams. It's got to be really spot on for your audience. All right, Jeremy, thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you very, very much. I'm going to just mute and I'm going to be popping back. I'll pop back in if I can.
Yeah, we're going to put some music on
Okay.
and then we'll... Yep.
I just did a quick search there, and your Doobie Brothers under Doobie Brothers tour and YouTube. Your video comes up number 3, which is pretty good.
Yep. Because I wanted to focus on the search results. So yeah, you can maybe come back on and share your screen. But
okay.
But you know what I try to do is I look at what keywords are trending. Sometimes it's tour, because right now they're touring, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Before it was live, but a lot of people are searching for tour.
So it's good to change up the text because I try and add more content, and then if it's regarding a certain company, I'll put that in a as you were talking about before, in a playlist, and then I'll find other relative good content that's not competitive to mine, something that's just talking about it but not trying to sell it. I'll add that to my playlist as well, and that seems to help. And adding new content on a regular basis. But I haven't done much with changing up the actual text, which I will do now. And hashtags are still relevant. Is that correct? Is that correct with YouTube? Like 3 hashtags?
Yes, they are. I should be using them more, but there is a distinction. Let me talk about it. Okay. If you use a hashtag, it will remove the location information.
Okay.
So like if you put up a video and let's say you go in and you actually say where this event happened. Let's say it's a live event and you actually put in the geography and the geography is relevant to your video, then it's either or that will show up on your search results. Right?
Okay.
So because I think I am using hashtags right here, the Doobie Brothers, and listen to the music. And when I did that, it got rid of the winery where this took place at. Right?
Interesting.
So it's either or. You have to make a decision on that.
If I have a location, so if there's a location, leave them out. Okay.
Yep.
Now I've got to go through my videos and see if there's anything to do with location. I don't think so.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in and you have a question, please put it in the comments and I will bring it up on screen and answer it in live. The whole point of this is to give back and be able to answer your questions that are there. We've been talking about SociSNAP.
Thanks very much.
Hey, I'll see you in a little bit, Jeremy.
Cheers. I'm just going to mute and.
Yep. Okay. So Jeremy was one of our first lifetime customers from several years past, and he's still with us. And more people just joined us in the live stream. So it's good to see you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And we were talking about the one of the secrets of copywriting. And this right here, I'm just going to show this book to you here right now. This is how to write emails that sell. That's going to be our topic next week in our live streams. We go live in Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we do various live streams on our YouTube channel, which have clips from those live webinars. And those webinars are all available to you by simply going to SociSNAP.com and then picking up your package over there. Let me bring this back. If you already have SociSNAP or its predecessor, SociJam, all you do is click on Member Dashboard and then use the exact same username and password that you already have to get in. Or if you already have an email in the system, you can always reset your password. So I'm going to just show you that because a lot of people purchase licenses, and see when you click Member Dashboard, it takes you straight in. So if you're signed in, you're immediately back to the dashboard. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Very big monitor. There we go. This right here is a video. This is actually a playlist. This is our training. You can click here, and there's 16 videos to teach you how to use the software. We have a YouTube channel, which is my content channel. It's called Mr. Hatman. We have a Facebook group, and we have a Discord group. Now, the Discord group is for geeks, okay? This is not, if you want things like, hey, I was doing the spam checker, and I found a word, and I suggest you use this word in the editor instead of that, feature requests. Because Discord is like, it's just fun, right? I love Discord. It notifies you on your phone. It's a really, really great social platform. It's not controlled, so you don't have to worry about just, it feels like, oh my God, I can just relax and hang with my peeps. So everybody, please go to the Discord group. Over here on the sidebar, this support chat. If you purchase SociSNAP and you are still seeing a free trial notification, or if it's asking you for money, something like that, all we need is your name, because your email is not really an easy way to find you. If we just have your name, if we don't know what your name is, you go over here under My tab and you click on My Profile, okay? And then you put your name right in here, okay? So put your name in here and then make a unique username. Your username is the easiest way for us to identify you. Now, your email address is going to be based upon how you're connecting. So email is not a very, very good way. Then you click Update Profile, and then you're back in. You want to make sure that your email address matches your socials. So if your email address is different in your socials, we made a tool for that. And the tool for that is called Connect Social Media. When you click Connect Social Media, what you will probably do is, if you received a login credential, like with your email or your password that was sent to you automatically, go check your spam folder, because a lot of times the automated system sends you your username and password to your spam. The first thing you want to do is log in and make sure you actually, if it doesn't say thank you for being a pro member, then you need to click over here to where it says support chat, and then we can instantaneously push you into pro. Now, pro is the tier up from the basic SociSNAP. So if you have SociSNAP Pro, then go ahead and contact support, and we will upgrade you to Pro, or we'll have a conversation with you about how you can upgrade to Pro. The biggest distinction with Pro and Basic is all of the training. There are also additional tools such as our list refiner, the randomizer that we use in our webinars, the video viewer that we use for transferring videos from sales pages, landing pages, opt-in pages, other social networks. If you have a video on your personal wall and you want to move it and start boosting it, you can use the video viewer tool for that. The Pro Insider training has the e-marketing evolution, LinkedIn targeting, and the EarthGrid Vault. The entire Facebook relevance, intermediate, advanced action guides, all of this training is also part of Pro. And the masterclass replays are in part of Pro. So there are additional trainings that you get in the training tab. Also in Pro, you get the email help out, email conqueror, science of wealth, Facebook tips, Facebook domination, art of alchemy, genius mindset, and the webinar replays. And these are the Pro webinar replays. So it's all under the training tab. Okay. So the way the dashboard is organized, settings basically is how do you organize your account? There's resources, there's tools, and then there's training. And you can upgrade to that by simply connecting or getting back to the person who sent you to us. We have a lifetime special that's being run by one of our partners right now. If you're a friend of hers, then or her husband, then please get back to her, and we will announce that as well. So you want to get that exclusively through her at the moment. And we do have a lot of other affiliates that are promoting right now. We will be doing a lifetime launch on the 29th for Pro. So a lot of times, like right now, what I'm working on is all the people who got early into Pro. We want to make sure that you have your keys, you have your tokens, you have the ability to log in. Because keep in mind, we talked about mobile phones earlier. Mobile phones are for notifications. Okay. Even Apple is doing this right now. You can get a notification on one device, and then with one button, you can switch to your big screen TV. That's the trend, right? We want to get you off your phone into a captive device like a television, a 4K monitor, some large screen, because that's where you do your work and you're actually more efficient. I use phones very strategically and very tactically. I use them for dictation. I use them to talk and speak into and transcribe my words. I use computers for copywriting and for graphic design and for branding. And like right now, there's no way we could do a live stream like this to 5 Facebook channels and 1 YouTube channel if we did not use a computer. So your computer is a phone. However, it has its limitations. And its biggest limitation, I believe, is it dominates your attention. I typically, when I'm actually wanting to get things done, I shut off my phone. I do. And I recommend that you have at least one day a week where you don't even turn it on and spend time with family. Go to the beach, go to the forest, go for a hike. Get out of that world just for a day. Reset, recharge. And we'll see you in the next one.